Hey guys, it's Mark from Migraine Professional. I used to suffer from migraines and headaches until about 5 years ago when I figured out how to beat them, and I've been migraine free ever since. Now I teach other people how to do the same. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the 3 keys to burnout, fatigue, exhaustion, and migraines and headaches. So it's important for us to understand that if our body is burnt out, if it's exhausted, it does not have the resources to repair the brain. It doesn't have the resources to repair the gut. It doesn't have resources to repair the joints, repair anything. We want to make sure that we are addressing the burnout that we are feeling, that exhaustion that we are feeling. First tip, making sure we balance our blood sugar. Very first and foremost, if our blood sugar is constantly spiking and dropping, every time it spikes and every time it drops, our body is inflaming to deal with that stress. Our hormones will constantly have to adapt with a spike or a drop or a spike or a drop, and we will constantly be sort of seesawing. We want to make sure that we're eating foods that are maintaining stable blood sugar levels all throughout the day. This will make sure that we're not feeling burnt out during the day. We're not getting that 2, 3, 4 p.m. dip, that we're able to sleep at night. We're not getting mood swings. We're not getting cravings. That's all incredibly blood sugar based. The best way we can do that is making sure that we're eating enough fiber and fruits and vegetables. Not too high on the fruits, especially high glycemic fruits. Grains, generally, if we're having blood sugar problems, grains are a no-go. We want to make sure that we're drinking enough water between meals, especially before a meal, like a half an hour to an hour before meals. We're getting enough water so that our digestion is ready and we're not dehydrated when we're taking in any carbohydrates. We're getting lots of fibers through vegetables, and we're eating lots of proteins and fats. Proteins and fats are like a nice slow burn. It's like throwing a log on the fire as opposed to giving yourself just some carbohydrates, and those are more just like throwing kindling on that fire. We want that nice slow burning fire that's going to last all day long. Next is adaptogens. So adaptogens are a class of herbs and funguses and supplements that help our body adapt. So specifically, they help our body adapt with burnout, fatigue, and exhaustion, and there's a bunch of subcategories. But adaptogens in general help our body adapt to fatigue and burnt out, because fatigue is one of the first signs that our body systems are falling apart. In different people, different systems fall apart, but fatigue is a general way for the body to bring our energy levels down and make us it brings us into introspection. So we cannot go out, we cannot spend energy. It brings us into ourselves by reducing our energy levels. So it's important that we use adaptogens, things like Ashwagandha or Rhodiola or Cordyceps. These are all incredible adaptogens. Ginseng and ginkgo. These are incredibly powerful in helping us kind of get through those stressful times. But we also want to make sure we're kind of diving deeper and finding out why. Why are we burnt out? Have we had an incredibly stacked schedule for the past couple months, couple years? Or is it maybe some trauma that we experienced that's kept our nervous system really, really wound up? Or is it none of those at all? Is it actually that our gut is constantly having to go through an immune reaction because we have a gut problem that's not being addressed, and this immune reaction is just burning out our body? We want to find out, we want to kind of dig deeper and see what's causing that burnout. The last tip is to make sure that we are balancing our hormones. So hormones are the basis of our functioning, and hormones, they, especially with migraines and headaches, we want to make sure that we're getting our hormones tested, and we're using functional medicine values, not just standard values, because standard values are based on the average of everyone, And as we know, most people in the Western world are experiencing some type of chronic disease, whether that be depression or anxiety or IBS or fatigue or migraines and headaches. So those standard lab values are not accurate. We want to use functional lab values. We want to get tested throughout the day and throughout the month so that we know what is going on, what is causing our hormones to spike and drop, what is causing our hormones to not be there to support us when we need. Because really what happens when stress comes in, we should feel ready to fight it, to hit it head on and fight that stress. But if our body is burnt out, we have lost the resources, those hormones that are there to kick in and help us fight that tiger. And then it's just turning into exhaustion. We feel burnt out. We feel fatigued and exhausted. So I'll link to a guide in the description below on the 5 mistakes of hormonal and menstrual migraines guide. It's a free guide and it really goes into detail on what's happening with burnout and how that's actually affecting our hormonal and menstrual migraines and affecting our hormones. So I'll link to that in the description and let me know in the comments below. Do migraines make you feel guilty because you have to drop everything when they hit, when they flare, when they trigger? Let me know. Thanks.